Hi, right, hopefully, keep your fingers crossed everybody. We're flying by the seat of our pants. I think we're back. Let me know if you can hear me. All good. Hi Ashley, are you sorted? I don't know, Karen, can you see the mandala on the ScanNCut surface? Hi JD Coogie, you're saying you can hear me. Somebody else, yeah, C.R. Bevins is saying can hear me. Karen can hear me. Oh, right, fab. Okay, well, let's just see what happens. So, Linda can hear me now. All right, that's great. Okay, so this hasn't turned out to be exactly what it was meant to be. I'm meant to be on the Facebook page belonging to Maker's Superstore doing a Q&A. I can see lots of names jumping on here that I know from my Sunday night and Wednesday night YouTube lives. So this was meant to be an informal Q&A session. Some of you will have already seen this mandala that's here. I showed it in the Q&A session last night. I've created another one today, and I was going to just, have a chat with you all, see if anybody had any questions. I think I actually need some kind of stiff drink now at the moment. But the idea was we were going to have a coffee or a drink and sit down and have a chat, and I was going to try and answer any questions. So the first thing is, if anybody's got any particular questions that you want me to try and answer with my frazzled brain, post them in the chat for me. I know makers are on here and hopefully they'll keep a track of anything. And then I'm going to, thank you Linda, and then I'm going to call up the design for the other mandala that I've got in my machine and hopefully try and cut that while we're chatting. But what I also wanted to do was, I do get questions about how I keep the mats sticky. So I've got my regular standard mat here. Excuse the noise for a minute. I'm too scared to move the camera or the machine now, in case I knock everybody off. So let's see what we can see. See if I can angle you down a little bit. Okay, is that better? Looks a bit better to me. So basically I've got my regular standard mat here that's, not too bad, but it's a little bit grubby. JD Cougar's saying, love what you shared on Sunday about your mats. Okay, I honestly can't remember what I shared. Oh, phew. Anyway, on this mat, you can, well, you might be able to see, but there are bits of card from where I cut the mandala last night, and I've not cleaned the mat. So I'm just going to scrape those off. And it's sticky in places and not so sticky in others. So the way that I look after my mats in between use is I use alcohol-free baby wipes. So that's the first thing I'm going to do before I start cutting. So let me just grab a couple of wipes. And I've just seen a comment, C.R. Bevins, I have a CM550 that's never been used because I just can't get the hang of it. Any tutorials on it? It doesn't matter, CR Bevins, whether it's a CM550 or a 600 or a 900 or a CM300. They all basically, all the CM models all basically work the same. So there's loads of videos on my Apple Lover 53 channel, where you are now, that are all categorized in playlists. So you've got a playlist specifically for the machine. There's a playlist specifically for Canvas Workspace, which is the software. There's also a beginner's playlist. So I would suggest, if you've not used your machine, that you switch it on, go and have a look under the playlist and look for the beginner playlist. That would be the first place I would start. So now I've got some wipes, and I've said this before, and the way I work with my mats is I kind of divide them up into the 4 6x6 sections. So with these alcohol-free baby wipes, I'm literally just going to give the mat a good old scrub, and I work from side to side on each section and then up and down. And then I literally just, you know, move the wipe and do exactly the same thing. And this is how I look after my mats in between uses. Now, I'm not saying I do this in between every single session, but I definitely do it, you know, every couple of sessions. And I work my way around the mat. It will pick up any bits of fibre and stuff left behind from your card, because card, you know, is different, or it's, some is more fibrous than others. It will leave, you know, more lint. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but it's grubby. So I just keep turning it round and find a new bit. And what I do, I also I go all around the edge. So around all where the rulers are, where all the kind of registration points are on the mat. And I'm going to wait for that to dry a little bit, but I even clean the back. Now this one's not too bad, but you may see, or you may not be able to, but there are some, you know, little grubby marks here, and they can also affect, you know, loading your mat into your machine. So I'm just going to let that dry for a minute, and then we'll catch up on what people are saying. So Mikkel is saying, I have a CM900 and love it. Okay, great. So as I say, all the CM models work the same way. I mean, to be fair, to an extent, so do the DX and the SDX models. The only difference with those is they have the auto blade technology, and they, you know, set your blade and your cut pressure for you. With the CM models, you've got to do it manually. Right, what's saying? I got it for quilting, but it chewed up the material every time. Okay, well, not yesterday, but the Sunday before, CR Bevins, I did do a session live showing how to cut some fabric, and that's under the live playlist. So maybe that's one for you to have a quick look at, but we can also do fabric again. That's not a problem. So somebody's asking me, what materials do I use the different mats for? Okay, so my standard mat, so this is the purple mat, this is the SDX mat, and I think that's your turquoise mat on your CM models, the one that says standard mat on it anyway. I use that for more or less everything. So I use it for card, I use it for paper. Sorry, not paper. I use it for card, all types of card. So plain card, glitter card, you know, mirror card. I use it for fabric. And most things really. The low tack mat, which for the SDX is turquoise, and I can't remember what colour it is on the CM models, but that mat I would just use for things like paper, so scrapbook paper, copy paper, crepe paper, that kind of thing. So I can see Butterfly 222 is saying, I love my 700. Mandy G, I have the CM900, but having watched Ashley, I may have to get the SDX. Mandy, I tell you, it's a game changer. Most definitely is. The Auto Blade is amazing. Right, this is pretty dry now, so I'm just going to turn it over, and just using the same wipe, I'm just going to wipe around the back as well, because the back of your mats, remember, you know, you take them out of your machine and you put them on your desk and they pick up grubby bits off your desk. You might not be able to see this. It's pretty clean, but it has got, you know, bits of glue and stuff on the back of it. So that's on a day-to-day basis how I look after my mat, and I'm just going to wait for the back of it to dry now before I put some card on, and I'll bring the machine in and I'll drag up the pattern that I wanted to try and cut. Jenny's put, can you use warm soapy water to wash mats, let it dry, then restick? Yes, you most certainly can, Jenny. I can't remember what it's called. Soapy liquid, you know, that you wash your pots with. Put it in the sink, a bit of warm water. You can use one of your kind of dish scrubbing brushes and give it a scrub, rinse it, and then leave it flat to dry. And then you can put the protective cover back on it. So yes, you can most certainly do that. If it's really grubby, then do that. But if you use the non-alcohol free baby wipes and you know, do a quick clean of your mat, maybe every 2 or 3 times you've used it, it depends on the use, then the alcohol-free baby wipe works really well. I can see a comment that said, had my machine a week and love it, have done so many things already, thanks Ashley Tutorials, my rhinestone kit arrived today. Oh, brilliant. Well, we did a rhinestone Sunday night live, didn't we, a few weeks ago, so maybe have a look at that. So Linda Lee is saying, the fabric was a great tutorial, it worked for me. Yeah, it's worked for me as well, and as I say, we can do some more with fabric. Would you use a low tack mat for vinyl or standard? I would always use my standard mat for vinyl. As I say, the low tack mat I don't use a great deal other than for paper. Having said that, if you saw the trick I did last Sunday with that sticky backed material when I cut the unbonded fabric, I did tape that to a low tack mat, but obviously it was just being taped onto the mat and it was the sticky paper that was doing the work. So yeah, the low tack mat I tend to just keep for paper. It's great for things like copy paper, you know, if you want to try out, if you've made a design and you want to try it out in copy paper before you cut it in regular card, it's great to use your low tack mat for that. Lynn, don't worry about it, we were all late. We've ended up on here instead of being on Maker's Facebook. So right, Pauline saying, I have the CM900 and the SDX 1200. I love these machines. I have all the accessories, but I need to use the accessories more. Okay, Pauline, well, you know, I think you've been on some of the Sunday sessions, haven't you? We've used, what have we done? We've done the calligraphy kit, we've done all the different pen holders, we've done the rhinestone kit, and we've done the foiling kit. So, you know, we're working our way through them. So Makers have got a great offer on at the moment. So you can buy the machine on its own, naked, so to speak, as they say in here, for $5.99, or they've got lots of bundles at the moment where they're offering a machine with a rhinestone kit or a machine with a, is it an embossing kit, something like that. So there's loads of things to be looking at. I'm trying to work my way through the comments before, I think this is dry now. So this mandala that I've designed has got 5 layers. Now I know people, you know, put lots of layers in theirs, but these are just new to me and they're just what I've been designing this week. So I've only created mine with 5. So I'm going to use 5 separate colours of card. So again, I'm just going to pick the card that I used last night. It is a different design though. So let me just grab 5 pieces and then we'll see what you're saying. So I'm going to put a piece of purple card on this regular mat, and then using the spatula I'm just going to burnish it down. I'm going to bring my machine back in. Try and come in a bit more. You may not necessarily see the pattern on my screen, but I'll move the machine back and you'll see it cutting, and then hopefully you'll see me assemble it. So I'm literally just going to retrieve the pattern that I sent over and saved in the machine earlier tonight, and it's 5 layers. You can't see anything there, can you? I'm really sorry. So let's see if we can bend this down a little and see if you can see anything any better. You're probably not going to be able to, but and then I'm going to get it cut in and I'll try and catch up with some questions. As you're not going to see that at all, are you? So okay, right, well anyway, I can see the design, so literally I'm just going to say okay. I'm going to select hopefully the top layer, and then I'm just going to get to edit. I'm going to select one of the other layers and I'm just going to choose the arrows so I can isolate those areas, say okay and just send them to the trash for now. Then I'm just going to position this first layer. Hopefully, if nothing's gone even more wrong, this will be the first layer. Right, so Mikkel's saying, I scrubbed my mat too much and the adhesive came off. Oh no. Yeah, you need to, you know, there's scrubbing it and scrubbing it, isn't there? You need to be gentle with it, but you certainly can wash them with dish soap. Right, I've got the first element on here. Let me get this cut in and then I'll see what everybody else is saying. Suzanne, I'm sorry, yeah, I had terrible trouble. I couldn't get onto the Facebook. And then in the end we were going to try it on my Stampin' Up Facebook page and I couldn't work that, so we've had to resort to good old YouTube. But thanks for coming. Right, someone's saying I love my SDX 2200D. So glad I went for the one and the offer was amazing. Thanks makers. Yeah, it is a good offer. Karen's saying would recommend Makers Superstore, next day delivery and very helpful. Yeah, they are. Jenny's saying received my new SDX Disney Friday. It was most definitely the Auto Blade sold it for me. Thank you. Yeah, most definitely the Auto Blade is amazing. So Patty H is saying, I haven't had a look watching Facebook live videos. They always freeze, even going out and back in several times. YouTube is much better for me. It seems to be much better for me apart from last night as well, Patty, so thank you. Linda Lee's just saying embossing. I don't know what that means. Is that something you want me to show you at some point, the embossing? I can't do that tonight.
Susie Chocolate saying wow 5, that sounds great. Do you mean 5 layers, or are you referring to something else, Susie? I'm sorry, because I'm trying to cut and I'm trying to read at the same time. Jenny, I can see your message, yes. Pauline Crosby saying, Linda Crawford, what do you mean? Update the patterns, do you mean import? I've obviously missed something there, so if there's anything I've missed, and I can always try and come back and answer them for you. Sheila Dipple, I think they do. Oh yeah, they've answered, I can see now further down. The CN mats won't work in the SDX machine, no. Okay, so here is my first layer. And just by giving this mat a wipe over with the baby wipes, it's made it a lot stickier. So I'm going to turn it over and try and remove it without damaging the design. And then we can get the next part cutting. Now the way that I did this when I made the other one, I'll give you a quick tip here, is I removed all these inner sections from the mat first and left the layer on the mat, and then that was able to move. But because I'm obviously mindful of the time and everything, I'm doing it the opposite way round. So I'm just going to try and scrape everything off here to get the next layer going. Right, what colour next should we do? I'll tell you what colours I've got. I've got blue, green, pale pink and dark pink. Give me a colour, somebody, and that'll be the next layer. Okay, so Linda Crawford is saying, how do I update patterns in the machine? I do have Wi-Fi activated. I'm not sure what you mean by patterns in the machine, Linda. All your patterns are in your machine and that's it. They don't tend to add patterns into the machine. They update Canvas Workspace with extra patterns, and if they're the ones you mean you want to save into your machine, you just need to download them. If you've got Wi-Fi, you select one. If you're using the online version, you click on the big purple download button and choose transfer via Wi-Fi. Has anybody given me a colour yet? Colours for you. Hope you do some explanations on the Brother ScanNCut CM650. I can really use it. Right, colours for you. Tell us what you need. All the ScanNCuts work the same, so right, let me see if anyone's giving me a colour. Come on, I need another one. I've got one dark pink and one pale pink. Pink. I've not got red to hand. So it's pale pink, dark pink, green or blue.
Right, we've got a couple of pale pinks. I'm going with pale pink. Someone's saying blue now. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, we're going with pale pink. I'm going to load the mat up with pale pink. I'm going to hit the home button. I'm going to go back to retrieve data, to the machine. I'm going to skip to the last page because that's where this design is. I'm going to click in the, I'm going to say OK, I'm going to click in the middle and I'm going to delete this first element because that's what I've just cut. Then I'm going to click in the middle of the design to get the second layer because that's the one I want to do next. And then I'm just going to click on the rest of the layers and hit delete. Okay, I'm going to do a background scan again and then hopefully I can catch up with what you're saying. Susie Chocolate, not sure if my comments are working anymore as I've done quite a few and can't see them once I hit send. I can see your comment, I think, Susie. Right, let's get this going. The messages are jumping up that quick that I'm trying to go back and read comments and then, is this mandala? No, Pauline, this is a design I've made myself and I'll probably be showing how to make it on Wednesday. I've done two. Not sure how well you're going to see this. I cut this one last night. This is 5 layers. And then this is more of a square design that I'm showing how to do now. Jenny, it's my own design. So while it's cutting, the type of things that you can cut with the machine are more or less infinite. You can cut card, anything up to 3mm. You can cut vinyl, you can cut fabric, you can cut vellum, you can cut tissue paper, I believe, although I've not tried it yet. You can cut crepe paper. I've cut shrink plastic. I've cut laminated photo pouches that I used as stencils. All sorts of things. So I hope that answers that question. Okay, so I've got 252 is saying I cut an 8x8 square and wanted to cut a 6x6 out of the middle as I was trying to save on card. The machine wouldn't let put both on the machine as it said there wasn't enough room. Okay, so the way to get round that is make your squares smaller to put them on the mat, and then choose your first one and make it 8x8, and then choose your second one and make it 6x6. So I can see that Pauline's saying I've closed down and gone out and come back in and the comments are back. So you must have been having problems and I've missed that. Um, 252 is saying, would I have to do this on canvas? If you mean make the design, yes. In fact, no, you can do it on, you need to do it in canvas, but it doesn't have to be on a computer. You could do it on an iPad. I'm not sure what you mean, so if you let me know.
Oh, you mean about the resizing? You don't have to do it in Canvas, no, you can do it directly on the machine. Just put the 2 squares on so that they are not too big. And then once you've got them on the mat, you can individually resize them to the sizes that you want. Just scraping all the rubbish off and trying to catch up, and then we're going to do the next layer. So that's the second layer. So that's the first layer, and that's going to sit on top of there. Right, let's get the third layer going. So I'm going to do the dark pink next because I think it'll stand out better next to that pale pink. So we want layer 3. I'm going to hit the home button and then I'll catch up with what you're saying again. Retrieve data from the machine, last page. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the, oh, not that one. Going to get rid of the first layer, the second layer, bring the third layer down because that's the one I want to keep, and then I'm going to choose one of the other layers and get rid of those. I'm really sorry, there's some glare on the screen. I know you can't actually see properly what I'm doing, but right, is that any better? I've put the light on. I'm just going to drag this third layer now onto this dark pink piece of card. And get it cutting. Right, where are we up to? Hi Lee. I seem to have missed some comments, so I'm not sure what's happening now, but I can see much better. So is that because I've put the light on? It is a lot better, thank you. My chat was playing up and not showing up, that's Lee. Alison, are you covering the rollers on the black marks on the mat, putting, okay, I'm not sure. Obviously someone's talking between themselves. Donna Jo, do you mean what I'm doing now? These are called mandalas. Lee, I'm fine, thank you. Um, 252JDW1, we had this conversation in one of the lives a couple of weeks ago about glitter card. Glitter card will dull your blade. I wouldn't put any of the thick, chunky type glitter card through, or any card where the glitter comes off in your hands. You can get some like paper, some card that's got a very, very fine glitter surface and it feels smooth and the glitter doesn't come away in your hands. That's the kind of only glitter card I would be tempted to use. And if at all possible, use an old blade and keep your other blades for doing everything else.
Okay, we're on layer 3. Okay, so then they would layer up on top. It's not going to look right while I'm holding it in the air, but it will give you an idea. And then you obviously layer it up with foam so it's got some dimension. So let me scrape all this off again. I've got bits of card flicking all over. Alison's saying thanks for the help. Thank you so much for taking the time to help us and do the tutorials. Love your videos. Thank you, Linda. You're most welcome. If you can hear a train, I've got the door open. Because it's a warm night. Right, what have we just done? We need a lighter colour. Right, going with blue. Right, colours for you. I'm going to have a look at your comment in a minute. Let me just get this going. Okay, what layer am I on? 4. So we can get rid of that one. That's 1, 2, 3. That's the layer I want. And then I can get rid of layer 5. And then I'm hoping that this is all going to fit on this size card. Let me scan it through, place it, get it cut in, and then I can come back because I think I've missed a comment somewhere, something to do with fabric. Right, so where was that comment? Okay, so colours for you is saying, not sure you saw my question. I have a CM650 and have been trying to cut cotton fabric, which I adhere to an adhesive sheet with backing called Thermoweb. Any ideas? Okay, so Thermoweb, is that like heat and bond? Do you iron it on and then peel off the paper? Is that what you're talking about? If it is, I would use my standard mat, put the heat and bond side down to the mat with the fabric facing up and cut it that way. And I did that in last Sunday's YouTube live. Not yesterday, last Sunday. Ella Gregory is saying, I have problems with the paper backing on vinyl sticking to my mat. Which mat are you using, Ella Gregory, and how sticky is it? In the UK, Susie Chocolate, there's the SDX 2200 Disney, which is the latest model, and then I can't remember what other models there are before it, but some of the models are the same machine but under a slightly different name in other countries. I think this Disney one is also known as Disney and Innovis in USA.
bigger the layers you start to cut, the less mess you've got left on your mat. The ones at the beginning that have got lots of cutouts obviously leave lots of card behind. So we've got one more layer to cut. Just scraping all these bits off. So that's the fourth layer. So this is what we've got so far, although it's not going to look right because I'm holding it up in the air, but you'll see it when it all gets stuck together. So we've got one more piece to cut, and that's going to be cut in the green. I'm just going to go back to home, OK, retrieve data from the machine. Let's try that again. Let's unload the map. Last page, mandala. Right, so we want all the layers deleting except the last one. So we're nearly there. 3, 4, and that's the last one. So let's load, and then I can catch up with what you're saying again. Okay, so Ella's saying I haven't tried any cardstock stuff, I'm new to all this. Okay, we'll start off simple then, Ella. If you've got card, maybe just try cutting basic shapes first. I think this piece just literally fits on this, on the width of this A4. Can you adhere the rhinestone designs to anything other than fabric? You can, so long as the surface that you're putting them on is heat proof. So you could put it on wood, you could put it on glass. You'd have to probably cover it, you know, put an extra covering over the transfer sheet. So long as you can iron it onto the surface, then it doesn't have to be on fabric. Barbara, it should be recorded and be on my YouTube channel as normal. Okay, Thermoweb is a peel and stick, not an iron-on backing. Okay, so it sticks to the back of your fabric, is that what you mean? But then it's not sticky. That's kind of a bit like heat and bond, isn't it? Because it's heat and bond doesn't stick to your mat, but it melts when you put an iron on it. I would use a standard mat and cut it fabric side up. I would treat it as a heat and bond. I think I need to bring you further. So you can see the last element now has hardly got anything cut out of it. So let's move this mat out of the way. And then I'm going to bring in the elements. And we'll start putting it together. I'm not going to be sticking loads of sticky foam on this. I'm just going to stick it in parts just so you'll get the idea. I might have to cut some of these.
to make them a bit smaller. So this is just 3D sticky foam that I'm using. And I've just cut it really small in the hope that I can just get it on this first layer. Right, what we're saying, the SDX 2200D is the latest model of ScanNCut and has the auto blade feature. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's just find another bit of sticky for this. As I say, you'd put more adhesive foam on than I'm doing, but it will give you an idea of how it's going to look. So I'm just going to peel off the backings of this foam. Don't want to stick to my hands and not to the card. What we're saying, is there anything I need to see? There have been improvements in the blade roller system too with the SDX 2200. Yes, I believe so. Someone's put, yes, in the USA they have different names. Ashley is right. This is the Innovis model in the USA. Yeah, I thought it was. Okay, so this is layer one. As I say, you'd put a lot more foam on this to give it support, but you'll get the idea. So that's going to go on there. Then this has got a bigger area on the back, so I can get a few more bits stuck on it. What else are we saying? I cannot believe I've had problems. Don't worry, Lee, I had them as well. And last night. Donna Jo is saying, at Makers Superstore, what is the blade roller system, please? Okay, we'll leave that one for Makers. Lee's saying, I love the mandalas. Great. It's looking fab already, somebody's saying. Yeah, it's only being held together with a few bits of foam though. I mean, really, you'd put a lot more on this, you know, to give it support. But I've seen these made into clocks. I've seen them put in frames. You know, you can do all sorts with them. Right, any more questions that I'm missing? Can you make stamps with the ScanNCut? Yes, there's a stamp kit. If that's, am I reading that question right? Can you make stamps with the ScanNCut? Yes, you can.